everybody. I just wanted to take a minute this morning to talk to you and share with you some thoughts that I've had come through. I have been doing a lot of readings lately. In fact, first of all, I just have to say that I'm sorry that I've had to raise my price. I'm still offering a $30 reading, but it is going to be a pre-recorded reading, which I just completed a couple of those, and they are actually very powerful. Spirit still comes through with messages. But when I do the pre-recorded reading, I can get I can get pretty much the same amount of time, amount done in much less time. My schedule has become so full. I was doing about 7 readings or more a day, and my voice is starting to hurt. And I had a couple of you who I kept having to reschedule. So the 2 of you I had to do that too. I'm really apologize. We'll get you done today. But one of the things that came through to me was that we really have to take care of ourselves. And this goes for every one of you, no matter what it is that you're doing, whether it's your job, whether it's your family, your children, everything that is in our experience on this lifetime that feels like it's, becoming too much or that is becoming a drain should be looked at and should be, really ask your angels and your guides to show you what you can do to help balance that. And, for example, with me and my schedule of readings, it was shown to me I do need to charge more for the in-person readings that take longer. And so I did raise that up, actually doubled it to $60. So if you want an in-person reading, that's what it would be. But like I said, I'm still offering a reading at the $30 price range because I can totally relate to many of you being in a situation where you just can't pay that much. And even at 30 or 60, that's still quite a lot less than most people are charging. But that was, what I was shown I need to do because I can't do 7 readings a day. And at least when they're, 45 minutes each or an hour, as sometimes I was doing. So it's important to remain balanced. And then also I wanted to just let you know it has been shown to me really clearly through several different channels, through, my own insights. And then last night I sat down and I just was thinking, I just want to connect to an angel, and I wasn't sure who I would ask to connect to. I was just sitting there thinking about it, and all of a sudden Metatron popped into my mind. So I was in a really very relaxed kind of meditative state of mind and just started typing, and some beautiful things came through to me. And one of them was talking about how much support we have as twins. And it had also come that morning in my reading. I did actually energy healing that I had done on me, and she was saying there's 4 voices talking at once, and then later on she started talking about other, spirits and all of the, spirit guides and energies that are surrounding my twin as well, and then the ones that we have that are there to support both of us in our connection and connecting to each other. And I'd also been in a joint mediumship, group setting where the medium, when she came to me to read me, she was just like, the first thing she said is, I hear like so many voices in my head. They're all trying to talk to me at once. And that's, that's what it is. We have so many guides and angels who are here to assist us, and they want us to know that. And I think that it helps raise our own vibration to continually give them gratitude and thanks. And another thing that we have in support around us that we sometimes don't really realize how significant it is children. Without exception, this is what Metatron told me, without exception, all twins have been given crystal children in their lives, and crystal and rainbow children in their lives in some way. Those of you who haven't had children of your own, it may be a niece or a nephew or some children of your friends, and they're people who are close to you, but especially those of you who have had children yourself or are going to have children, with your twin. If you come together and have children, then they will be crystal children, rainbow children who are born into this world without any karma, and they do so much to raise the vibration of the energy in your home and in your life that you don't even have a clue how much they're here to help. I've been told, and I knew this instinctively anyway, but I've had it confirmed by a lot of different sources and readings, that my own daughter, you've maybe seen her videos, Ava Lee, is a rainbow child, and she, in fact, she's actually mostly an elemental. Most of her lives she's lived as a fairy. She is very connected to the earth, and she specifically came in this incarnation to help connect my twin and I together, because she's even more connected to him than she is to me with past lives. So that's interesting, because she and I have such an incredible bond. And, you know, for her, she is one of the very few people in my life, you know, that I've ever told about my twin, other than, you know, the thousands of you guys, or, you know, the people who know me well do not know about my belief in my twin. And yet she does, and has, even from the time I first told her, and she was just, you know, barely, like, she's 7 years old. And from then on, she's just always been the hugest, biggest advocate for me and my twin. And even though she's kind of, you know, in a sense doesn't really do a whole lot of intentional, you know, things to help connect us energetically or whatever. She just is. That's what she's here doing, just by the nature of her being in my life. And she helps raise my vibration when I'm sad. I've told you before, there were a few times in my deepest, darkest moments where I was like the child sobbing in her arms. And, you know, I think some people might judge that and say, oh, you shouldn't put your, you know, on a child. No, these children, their vibration is so high, you can't lower their vibration by your sadness. They're just there to, like, soak it up and then transmute it and then just put it back out, you know, into good energy. And so, you know, she's been amazing for me in that regard. And the other thing that came to me that was really, really, I just thought it was so cool. I know you guys have seen the energy orbs that tend to show up in my videos, and in my energetic reading, she said there's a grandmother presence that is around you, like, you know, and do you have a grandmother that passed on? And I was like, yeah. And interestingly, we call her grandmother. My other grandparent that was feminine, she was grandma. But as soon as she said grandmother, I just knew who it would be. And it was the first video that I ever made that we saw the energy orbs was when I had the lilac sitting over here. And that was my grandmother's favorite flower. And every time I go pick lilacs, which I'm crazy about that every year, that my grandmother is who always comes into my mind. And I take pictures of myself with the lilacs and post them on Facebook. And then all my relatives comment about, oh, that's just like grandmother, and she loved lilacs. And then, of course, the other really cool thing is that I look like my grandmother. Here's a picture of the two of us together, side by side anyway, with her over here back in the 1940s, and me here in like about 2000, that would have been 2006. And so that's who she said was in, and she said she is very, very, very actively working toward bringing you and your twin together. That's her thing. And I just thought that is so cool. Now, speaking of spirits and children, I had a reading with a beautiful woman this morning, and she, later on in the reading, you know, children were coming up, and I said, you have children, right? Because actually it was showing up in the spread, and she said, yes. And I said, know that. And then she said, I had 3, and then 1 passed away. And I said, know that your child, especially the one that passed away, oh, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. So she's showing up here. She came into your life and left early. That was part of the soul contract between all of you, your husband, who is, you know, your soulmate, karmic partner, and your child and you, for many reasons, but the primary reason was to give you the opportunity to have her in the physical first, and then for her to just move on and transition so that she could help bring you and your twin together. That is what her, you know, her job is. And she is with you all the time. Your 2 children that are still incarnate, they go off to school every day. They're in your life, of course, all the time, and they're, you know, also they're raising your vibration, and they're here to assist you with this. But the one that passed on is always with you and always working toward, you know, bringing you and your twin together. And I can relate to the death of a loved one. More recently, I lost my dog, who was 14 years old. And when we laid her to rest on the mountain, it was the hardest thing I've ever done. And I just, you know, was crying in agony. And I think I've mentioned this before, but within about a week or so, and I know, I mean, it's not the same as losing a child or a family, you know, person. So those of you who have, I know that this grief does not, you know, compare to that, but it does come close. And yet, because of my my belief and knowledge of reincarnation, and because we've known for, the last few years Sweet Pea wouldn't be with us forever, and so Abelie and I have both continually will love her and pat her and say, when you come back, we want you to come back into our lives again, and when you come back, you're going to have a new body, and so we've actually already found a litter of puppies who were born a couple weeks after Sweet Pea passed away, and so she knows where to go and come in, and she's there. She's waiting for us to find her again. But know that this separation that you feel from your loved one is, again, it's kind of an illusion. It's not entirely. I kind of feel that's calling everything in this physical dimension, saying it's just an illusion, is really discrediting the experience of the reality of it is, because it is a reality. We are here in a physical form. Yes, there's an illusion involved in that we don't understand everything because we're so veiled from the truth of all that is, but we've come here to experience that forgetfulness and not knowing who we were in order to grow and to do the things we came to do. So it's all part of the plan. But know that these other spirits and entities that are at other dimensions that we can't always see, that they are there with you. I don't have really strong mediumship abilities or skills, so it's not like I'm one of those people that goes around just, I just could really feel her, or I could see her. It's more just a knowing with me, and it was interesting because I had kind of had this feeling that my grandmother was, watching over me, but I had never gotten anything specific about it. So, I just wanted to give you those messages of encouragement, knowing that you have an army of people who are here to support you in this mission that you took on, because it is a huge mission. The other thing that had come to me from Metatron was that just some more insights on why twins are the ones doing the work that we're doing. And this was interesting. I think I've been on the edges of this understanding before, but just having it come through more clearly is that the reason twins are the only ones who can do this particular work of bringing up all of the negative karmic patterns of love and relationships, which, because love is everything, that is what has to be repatterned entirely in the earth, and our understanding of love. So that's why it is the biggest thing, and love is everything, but especially in regard to how love is demonstrated and the false beliefs around it, or whatever, that are deeply ingrained into the psyche of the human race on earth, that those faulty patterns can only be healed by twin flames, or people that have that super strong pull toward each other from that very, very close, whether they're a twin flame or like almost a twin flame, which is like the soulmate that's at the most closely related level toward your energy of anybody, which is where the beloved the beloved divine counterparts come from. Twin flames are beloved counterparts, but they're even, they really literally came from the one soul that decided to split into two halves, whereas the other ones are like, they're, whether they would split or not, but they're at the whole soul level that have a very close energetic alignment. The reason that we are the only ones who can do this is because by coming together and then having these blockages come up, in any other kind of relationship, when that much stuff comes up, when the people run away from each other because they can't handle it, because of the fights, because of the overwhelming of the energy, or because they bring up these things that hurt so much, or whatever, all the reasons are that caused the separation, that only twins and the highly connected beloved counterparts have the energy that's strong enough to pull them back together, to face all of those fears after clearing them out, or even then have the ability to bring it up and clear it out. Because think about this, and all of you have experienced this before. This is why it's really frustrating to be on the twin flame journey, because we're like, I was always able to get over, this breakup or that breakup, and those people left, out of my life, and I was able to move on. Why can't I move on from this person? So having that energy pull is what continues to bring that stuff up and forces you to work through it, because it's either work through it or like you just can't go on, and so you do. Like, you are a very highly evolved soul, so there are very few twins who, even though many of you maybe have even gotten to that point where you contemplated, I can't believe it, but I was really contemplating, like, I can't live, I can't continue living, and contemplating suicide. So, and yet few of us ever do, because we are such highly evolved souls that we do have it within us to push through. And so we do, and so we grow, and so we clear, and so we change the dynamic, and so then we work through all of it in spite of the separation, in spite of the distance, in spite of the obstacles, the impossible obstacles. Those of you who have fallen in love with and realized that your twin is a person in the public figure and has no idea who you are. Those of you who you're looking at your situations, you're both married and you don't see any way those marriages could ever possibly end. Even those of us like myself, where my twin is not married, but he's a live-in girlfriend and we're on opposite sides of the country, it feels and seems as if we'll never get together again. Right now, he's not even talking to me. And so all of us are facing the impossibility of it ever coming together. And during that time, it continues to bring up the things that we meant to clear, brings up the different, situations. Every situation that anybody's story is being acted out in, that situation in and of itself is bringing up the very same things that you meant to clear. And so as you do that, and then you finally align yourself so completely with the energy of unconditional love, acceptance of your present being, like where you are right now, and then you begin to fully embody being able to create all the joy that you ever wanted and desired, that at one point you thought could only happen when you were with your twin. Then you start embodying that right now, in the here and the now, on your own, without him or her in your life with you. And that is when you fully align to the energy of that they know it's time for them to come back in. And I've talked to you before as how the awakened twin really ultimately has most of the timeline in their hands, because we are the ones that are, we set out to embody that in order to call them. That's the signal for them to, come on in. And then again, I also have told you, I am an advocate that when you are lining up, when you're increasingly lining up with that energy, and then you're guided to do things to reach out and make contact and tell them it's safe to land, then do those as well. But most of it is with this internal energy. That is also why mission is so important, because you really, when you have so much desire and longing for your twin, the only thing that can completely shift your energy into that kind of a space of really living in the moment is when you're just so able to throw all of this, energy that's coming down from above, that's overwhelming and that makes you long for your twin. Then you redirect that into service for others and whatever it is that just your passion is, whether it's with animals, whether it's with people, whatever it is, anything that you're called to do to live out and demonstrate your higher frequency and, bring that into earth. That's the kind of thing that completely shifts your energy into the space where it's time for them to come in. I do believe, I will reiterate, I do believe the twins meant to come and live together in union, because that is kind of the final bringing in and then living out the pattern. And human beings in the physical, and I'm getting goosebump confirmation, human beings in the physical sense, they finally bring down like everything that comes down, through the ascension process and then the descension process, all of it comes into then now let's live it out, because when we live it out, that's how we retemplate. So right now we're creating new ways of being and doing and living energetically by by that process of change that we've gone through. And then as we then start acting out on it, that's why acting in mission, your mission is acting out on it and making that happen in that sense. And then part of that mission, or, really kind of the ultimate culmination of that mission, is for your beloved to live with you in union and then show people. This is what unconditional love looks like inside of a relationship. We came to live that. That Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene were twin flames. They were the first, major twin flames to ever come in. And even though the history books have, completely blotted her out, they did that. They had that kind of a mission where they showed and they acted it out, and then people could see that. And even though we don't always know the stories, that, they still energetically put that here on earth then for us to follow at this time. So I do believe in that, and that, coming into play at the right time and at the right place, just trust that it will. Seems like I had one other little thought there that I was going to share, and right now it escapes me. So I do want to just come back again to my readings. I just reiterate again that I'm still offering the readings. I'm going to try to do as quick of a turnaround with the recorded readings as I can. I'm keeping those at a reasonable price so that everybody can, get some individualized personal readings for them that will help. I really, really believe in reaching out and getting help when you need, because it helps raise your vibration, helps to give you understanding, it helps shift your focus. Again, helps keep you on track, making use of information that you can get from other sources. But I do want to just reiterate also that you yourself are your highest guide. And if there's anything that anybody tells you, whether it's me or somebody else, that they tell you and you say, you know what, I just don't resonate with that, you absolutely have the authority and the freedom to set those kinds of things aside and then just take from what, what we're given. Because I'll tell you, I'm a pretty clear channel from spirit. And so most of what I'm saying is coming through, but there's still me. I mean, I still have some of my own experiences that can color some of what I say. And so if that happens to affect the message for you in some way that just doesn't resonate with you, then by all means, let that go. And energy healings, I have some woman that I did the healings with, and then another gal that I will recommend as well. And as I continue to move forward and connect with other people who have different services and things to offer, I'll share that. And yeah, so if you do go to my email and email me, you're going to get an automatic email response, because that's just easier for me. Go ahead and follow the directions on that of what to do next if you want a reading. And then other than that, I think that was all I wanted to say. I'm about to head up on the mountain for my hike, and it's a beautiful sunny day. That was the one more thing. Metatron told me that in addition to children and all of the spirits, the children in the physical and the spirit realm of all of our support, we also have the animals and the elementals that we really, really need to connect with and continue to do that on a daily basis. If there's any of you who are not getting out in nature, you need to. I think most of you are really being drawn to it and you're doing it anyway, but if you're not, then you really need to, because you ground, you clear, you connect, and you really, embody the essence more of who you are by being out in nature. So much love to all of you. Live a balanced life, and stay focused on the joy, the love, and the peace, and all the good things that have come into your life from being on the twin flame journey. Bye.